Yeah, baby. Wonder if all my bad decisions get accounted in the algorithms. No statistician could dissuade me from my bigger vision. I know my occupation's quite an unlikely place in this world to occupy and talk about upon a daily basis. Our information's predetermined by some biased business. We all in sermon to Silicon that push out lovely neighbors. I'm done with paper chasing, think I'm on to bigger banquets. This that full circle, new wave, energy on a Tuesday. Turn a blue day to a bright hue, yellow with a smooth A in hair. Extra fruit, the brand, you can't move me. The music is man, it's a con job, but it's grand. Been blessed with a great hand amongst many that stank. And yeah, it took some hard work, but blind luck play a huge role. And if they say that it don't, well, they feeding you fool's gold. And if I know one thing, the truth's home. Even if it's a tough thing to swallow, an even harder thing to hold and truly know without a doubt while on the globe. And even though that seems inherent, it ain't always so apparent. Dangle carrot, you ain't always gonna get it. But don't worry, it's a pretty February in a year with more to carry and more days is yet to come. Under the sun, taking the ferry to the city where the moment's extra pretty, like the people, like the idea that I keep inside my brain that isn't equal to the real world. All that stress ain't saving me fear though. I swear to God I'm trying, but they pushing their demons down my esophagus, screaming the easy life, what I want always. Praise made up holidays, tell me that love is the answer just to boost this economy. Buy more, sell now, but I ain't following. I ain't a hollow man, I'm full of them fall winds. Take it all with a tall grin, and if you feel it, do it with me. And just sing what the song says. Take it all for what it is. It ain't all so big. So big, so big, so big. Take it all for what it is. What it is, what it is, what it is, what it is. It ain't all so big. It ain't all so big.
Hello, y'all. It's me, your host, SB.
Dearly beloved.
So listen, y'all, it's Tuesday night. Y'all know I'm never here on Tuesday, but I'm here with y'all today because guess what? I got time. Me and Mr. Boss, we mobile right now, so we doing whatever we want to do. How about that? So listen, I'm here with you all tonight. I hope you all having a terrific Tuesday. It's been a good day for us so far, and I thank you so much for being here with me. And we're going to have a good time tonight because guess what we decided to do? We just decided to call this week right here, is it Deal Breaker Week? So is it Deal Breakers? Y'all know what I'm talking about. Last night we had a show about a couple who needed to move the grandmother in, and wife just wasn't having it. So the question was asked, is this a deal breaker? We walked our way through it, and it has been a hot topic all day long. And guess what? It made us feel like we need to find some more deal breakers and bring them to you all, and we're going to talk about them. So we're going to do a little bit of that. And also, I'm just going to catch y'all up on the things that are going on here at SB Nation. I am so happy that you all are here. Now, listen, something I totally forgot to do last night, and it was because I was an hour and a half late for the show. Forgive me. I'm still saying forgive me for that. But, y'all, last night was Monday. That was the dynamic duo night. And my dynamic duo, the other half, he over there in Jamaica doing his thing, flaunting. Y'all know he is, right? So I forgot to mention to you all that this week is the anniversary week for Black Men Unfiltered, and he's over there doing his thing. He may be back home now. I don't know if it was just for the weekend or what have you, and I don't really know when he left. But Black Man was in Jamaica, so the other half of my dynamic duo was busy over in Jamaica yesterday, and I forgot to mention it. So forgive me for that. It was something else Mr. Boss told me I failed to mention. But you know what? Y'all can't be filling my head over so much stuff because I will forget to mention it. That's just how it is. But anyway, before we get started, I want to say hello to a few people and then just welcome you out to the show. Dr. Steele, what's going on? Mr. Gilbert, I hope you're doing well today. I hope you're feeling fine and very festive, and you're going to be very active over here in the comment section. And I also hope that you enjoyed the show last night, even though you were not feeling well. You showed up, and that's how it is over here at SB Nation. And thank you so much for your support. Thank you. Miss Renata, what's going on? Did I miss anybody up there at the top, Mr. Boss? Oh, I sure did. Classy and covered. Hello, hello. How could I have missed you? I looked up there and said, hey, Classy and covered in here. Let me make sure I shout her out because I absolutely adore your name and your support. And thank you so much for being here. And I hope we have an excellent show tonight. But I'm going to need y'all help because, we're still doing deal breakers. But tonight, we're talking about our modern women, do they need to earn, his money? Do they need to earn the money? And y'all going to understand why Mr. Boss, he came up with this title. Y'all going to have to understand why he came up with this title. We're going to talk about it in just a little bit, though. Just being Jazzy. Hello, Jazzy. How are you? It's good to see you. Mr. Jimmy, what's going on? Oh, you are definitely having a better Tuesday. That's good, Mr. Gilbert. All we could do is get better. I hope it gets better every single day. And I hope I didn't miss anybody. If I did, I will be shouting you guys out throughout the night. Tonight, again, this is this show that me and Mr. Boss decided to put together. We just want to see how it feels to be on. I'm not gonna commit to every night, but y'all know whenever we decide to go on, we're gonna let y'all know. So that's how that'll happen. So before I get started, who else I want to say hello to? Oh, those of you first time here from TikTok, thank you so much for joining us. Make sure when you come in, you're giving us a thumbs up, you're subscribing to the channel. Make sure if you decide to do that, you're turning on your alerts so you can be here with me when I go live also. Same thing for those guys that are joining us from Instagram. And are we broadcasting on Rumble tonight? Oh, no Rumble. I'm so sorry. But if you happen to be here from Rumble because you just saw me over there one day and our Facebook, hello. Thank you for being here. Make sure you come over to YouTube. And when you do come into the live, you're giving me a thumbs up. And you also subscribing to the YouTube channel so you can get these alerts when we decide to go live. How about that? I said a whole lot, right? So I hope y'all got that. So anyway, I want to just give y'all a rundown on today before we just jump into the live. I'm not going to be here with you all very long unless y'all just make me do so. Just make me do so. I don't know. But listen, yesterday's show must have been a good one, and it must have been a little hot spot because women and men, as always, we can't always agree on everything. And again, that was a house splitter. The fact that grandma needed somewhere to go, and mama, mother of the house, wife, decided, no, she can't come here. Everybody agrees that the young woman was really, really out of control and way too aggressive and what have you. But also we agreed that the young man, he was lacking in some leadership skills. He didn't have the right conversation. He didn't come with a plan. And all those things are necessary, especially when you decide to move somebody into your house. That requires care, of course, and other things too. Because you know what? In-laws, all those people, just somebody that's in need can cause a huge interference in your home if you don't do so. So you want to make sure that you are on the same page as your spouse and that you all are doing a very good thing, because it is okay to say no, but we got to agree that that's what is going to happen. And if we can't agree, the husband is making the final decision. So I'm sorry, ladies. That's just the way it is. Now, that brings me to something I need to say to the ladies that are over here in these YouTube spaces, because y'all need to hear this. And it could just be because we're in these spaces. But listen, guys, if you find that your ladies, I'm speaking to you all. If you find that your conversation that includes a man has a negative undertone to it pertaining to that man, I'm going to need you guys to stay off of social media for some time. Yeah, because this is what I mean by this. Whenever I'm having a conversation with a lady and I'm talking to her about a husband or a relationship with a man or what have you, I'll give her an answer to her question. Like I may say something like, well, ladies, preserve yourselves. And I say, preserve yourself to marriage. And their answer back to me is this. Well, SB, it don't matter if you get married because some of these husbands ain't hitting on nothing anyway. So listen, my answer back to them is, why are you making up stuff? Do you have a particular husband that you're talking about? Is this something that you actually experienced? Or are you really saying to me that you think that all men are no good? And if it's any one of those three, then I need you to pull away from social media, because everything that pertains to a man is not negative. And so all the deflection that you want to give me to make yourself right is not going to work, because I am married. I've been married a long time. And I like and love my husband, or I love and like my husband. And he's not trash. So I have a live-in example of how it could be. So you're giving me all the world and all these excuses to why you can't do the work. I really don't want to hear them. And my solution to it all is I need you to back up from this influence that you're getting from social media, because it's really not working for you. It's not. Every time I give you a way to fix the problem, you tell me something else. You find another way to make a man the issue. And he very well could be, but if it's not one that you have experienced, stop pretending. Stop making it up. Let's be in the reality. Y'all know the reality that y'all always talk about. Let's be right there. Guess what? Let's do the work. How about that? Let's preserve ourselves. Let's align ourselves. Now listen, I'm talking to women that want to become better women and possibly wives. Align yourself with what God has said for you to be, a wife, if that's what you want. Do the work, preserve yourself, have some value. Practice those principles, those morals, and have some standards. And once you've done that, and then you come to me and you say, SB, the man I was dating, he wasn't hitting on nothing. He did. And I'd be like, what? Really? Then you and I could possibly have a conversation, because I could say, hey, look, this is what you got to do. Make sure, look, you in a good place and you're talking about this, and you were on top of it, because guess what you did? You operated in godly principles. You had some morals about yourself, meaning you wouldn't participate in random reckless sex. And also you had some standards, meaning he wasn't God-fearing. We wouldn't having a very long conversation. So you won, girl. But if you're going to spend all your time telling me how these men that you never met are no good, I'm going to need for you to back away from social media, because that influence is clouding your mind. It's keeping you from checking yourself. It's keeping you from being accountable. And that's not a good place, because we all need to self-reflect and figure out what it is that is wrong with us. Because trust me, there is something wrong with all of us. But if you're spending all your time telling somebody how bad that next man is, you're going to miss it. And I don't want y'all to miss it. And it was quite obvious with that post we did, or that video we did last night. It was quite obvious, because every time I tell them, or every time I say to a lady, hey, you got to be accountable. They got to call a man's name, not a man's name, but they had to say, but what about the man? I don't care about the man. How are you going to get better concentrating on what the man did? How about this? You become better. You ain't got to worry about the man, because it might be a different man that you want to be with. The conversation might change. That's all I'm saying. And whoever I'm speaking to, I hope y'all can hear me. Lady Nevo, well, what's going on with you? Class and cover, I agree. Social media can be very toxic and tend to distort the truth. Listen, so I said down there at the Man's Conclave, the Manosphere Conclave, that the social media was the devil. Now listen, we talk in generalities, because most people understand that there's no absolute, right? Most people. But you have this sector of individuals that just, hey. So let me put some clarity on that right now. The reason why I say that social media is the devil, because there are so many evil things that come from social media, and there's so much access to evil things that come through social media. And the influence can be quite, hypnotizing. And women tend to be the ones who are being hypnotized. So me looking out for the ladies, like I always do, I'm advising you all, if every thought you have is negative about a man, meaning, he ain't no good. I'll do that, but he doing that. I need you to pull away. I need you to pull away. And guess what? Y'all are not going to agree with me. I know you're not. What about you? You're advertising on social media. Guess what? I am not a social media person. Y'all already know I got somewhat of a marketing team behind me, and that's what they do. And when they're doing it, I promise you it's nothing but work for them. They get no enjoyment out of this. The only thing they get enjoyment out is you all responding and having conversations. It's nothing more than that. They're not looking for the attention. I mean, my marketing team. They're not looking for that. They're just trying to help SB put out the word, or I should say, help SB in her endeavors to become the elder that she is supposed to be by advising you all what she thinks is a good way for you to go. That's all that's what my marketing team is here for. They're here for me. They're not here for likes and things like that. They're not. They're at work. So you really shouldn't compare what I'm doing to what you're experiencing. I can pull away from Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, y'all really, really quick because I have a whole nother life as a wife. I can go sell a house if I need to. I can do a lot of things, y'all. So you don't even understand what SB. Y'all don't even understand the encouragement that I get from my husband to get up here and speak to you all, because sometimes, now I got to just be honest. The support that I get from the men is loving, and they appreciate it. And they just, they're just easy. If they have a pushback, we have a conversation. If they're supporting and encouraging me, that's what we do. But the ridiculousness that I get from women, I'm like, come on, y'all. Let's stop this. What are you doing? And when they can't understand or don't want to adjust or accept what I'm saying, y'all know they start with the insults. But guess what I tell them then also? SB is not scared of accountability. Do what you got to do. I had one today, y'all. This is funny. It's Real Serious B. I hope you somewhere ghost watching, because I need to let you know something. Yes, my husband will scream and do whatever it is necessary to keep somebody from disrespecting his wife. And I hope you have a covering that will do the same, because he is my protector. You hear the gunshots? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's what it's like being in a marriage. With a covering, with a man that loves you, adores you, and was like, it ain't gonna be like that. And besides that, I can go anywhere I want to go. It's YouTube. So, hey, Fifi. Hey, Ricky. Listen, guys, if y'all haven't been there yet, please go over and please go over to Ricky Williams' channel. Y'all got to get with the Truck Chronicles. Make sure you subscribe to his channel, y'all. He is hilarious. Ricky be riding down the street in the truck and he be just talking to us. I need y'all to go check it out. Ricky, I have no idea what time your show is, but it's every day. I catch it all the time and we just be riding. He's riding, but I feel like I'm riding with him. So if y'all haven't yet, go over to Ricky Williams' channel, sign up, put that alert on so you will know when to be there. Because Ricky's something else. Ricky is something. Lost in Translation, what up with you? It's good to see another young man. Make sure you go over to Lost in Translation's channel. You know what? Subscribe, turn the alert on so you will absolutely know when he is live or has a new video that is coming out, y'all. Listen, we have so many straight up men and women that are on these platforms that you could definitely listen to and get some good advice. I have no idea why you all choose so much salacious entertainment, but no, I do know, but it's okay. Beloved, what's going on? It's good to see you. Shots will be fired. Lunchtime. Okay, Ricky says he goes on lunchtime. And Ricky, where are you at as far as, you're not Eastern, so you must be either ahead of me. No, you're not ahead of me. You're behind me. So y'all, Ricky goes on at lunchtime. So y'all go check it out. Truck Chronicles, y'all. Ricky be having me dying laughing sometime, y'all. Y'all gotta check it out. Is it someone else laying the vote? You okay? So that's just what a message I wanted to put out there to the ladies, because I want y'all to get it. And I think some of you have so much to offer as a wife, if you could just get it. Unless you study a man, you're not going to understand the way they move, the way they think, and how they operate. You're not. Because you're going to come from an emotional place and you are really going to think that they should be responding the way that you think they should, instead of accepting them for who they are. And that's the big problem. And instead of you trying to correct who you are or make yourself a better person, you are constantly trying to blame them. But for what? You wanted to participate in whatever it was that went on. And that's so bothersome to me, because you all play and pretend like you don't know what I'm talking about. You all know if a man and a woman decide to have sex, they both decided to have sex. It was a mutual thing unless it wasn't. And if it wasn't, we ain't gonna talk about that because y'all know what that is. But if it was mutual, everything that happens thereafter, I as a woman must take responsibility for it. And whatever the consequences are, the young man must take responsibility for that also. But I don't speak to men about their consequences and what comes next. That's something that a man should do. I'm only speaking to women because I would like for women to change their circumstances. You know, I saw a girl today. She got one child. She said, "Y'all see me struggling going to work with this one baby. How in the world do you do it when y'all have 3 and 4? Oh my God, you all are my heroes or what have you." I was like, "Hero? What is heroic about having 4 kids on your own?" That's that 4-to-1 ratio. Y'all remember that last video we saw on that, right? The young lady had 4 kids, had to go to the store, couldn't gather all 4 of them up at one time to go to the store. She left them in the house. What was it? 6, 4, 2, and 8 months. And 2 of them passed away. See, the ratio doesn't match. There's nothing heroic about that. That's actually a bad deal. That was some bad decisions that were being made. You know, and I know she's somewhere blaming the fathers or whoever they meet. I know she is because he was there present. I don't know the circumstances. I don't know. He wasn't there that day. None of them were there that day. But again, we didn't have to make that same decision all 4 times. It didn't have to be that way. But no one at baby number 1 said, "Hey, look, I need you to wake up. You can't do this by yourself. We have to make better decisions. I want more for you. You can have someone here. You could listen, this child can have a relationship with their father. I need you to hold up and think about what's going on." No, we didn't do that. We gave her a gender reveal. We had a $1,000 or $2,000 baby shower. We did a whole bunch of unnecessary stuff. And then when she got to number 4, no one was there to babysit those kids for the young lady to even go to the store. And that's what happens. "Hey, Sherelle, what's going on? It's good to see you." That's what happens. No one's there to help you. No one. And again, I'm going to always say that the sisterhood is 1,000 strong of one wrongdoing, and they are, they keep giving. That's exactly who they are. They won't tell the truth. They pat you on the back for everything that you do that is not beneficial for you. Listen, I'm not saying everything you do is wrong, but we have to stop operating in dysfunction sometime in our life. Listen, sometime in our life, we have to stop operating in dysfunction. So why not today? Why not today? And by no means am I trying to say to you all that I got it all together. I'm not. I'm just trying to tell you what the first step is. And if you're willing to take it and you're serious, it requires a mindset change. But you can continue to blame someone else for the decisions that you make, and you're going to see how that works for you, because it won't. But anyway, I just wanted to share that with you because that was my morning. I went back and forth with a couple ladies about this, desperately trying to reach and touch them. I don't know if I did or not. I know they're somewhere watching. Because they're ghost watchers. They like to talk junk, but they ain't going to cam up. They're not going to do any of that. They're just going to, a couple of them might pop up in the stream. I don't know, because they think they bad. But guess what, ladies? I don't fight. So it really doesn't matter. Women should stop having kids if they don't have a village. They absolutely should, Sherelle. Sherelle, the young lady couldn't even go to the store. She had 4 kids. She couldn't even go to the store, couldn't pack the kids up and take them to the store, and the house burned down. There was an explosion. 6 years old, 4 years old, 2 years old, and 8 months. For the last 9 years, that young lady, who was only 30 years old, was pregnant. Right? Was pregnant. And she didn't have a village. If she did, the village was not there. I don't know, y'all. I feel sorry for her. I do. Even though those were her decisions to make, everything. Now she's in prison, or will be in prison. And she's going to have to pay for decisions that she made. But can she be the last one? Can she be the last one? Can we make some difference in some young woman's life and be like, hey, 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 look, you don't want this. Let me share with you. Stop. Preserve yourself. You deserve better. No, guess what? Guess what the sisterhood is telling them? If you're going to lay with them, you need to have a condom. See, they're trying to perfect being sexually immoral. Let's perfect it. Let's get some spray. Let's get some condoms. Let's get some morning after. Let's get all of this stuff to prevent having a baby. But do y'all really know that let's stop perfecting bad behavior. Get you a husband if you want one, or preserve yourself. It's okay. Preserve yourself. Don't always give in to your selfish desires or your flesh. Just take a moment. Just take a moment and breathe. Now, this is stuff that I've learned over the years. Y'all, I haven't always had it together. I'm not even saying I got it together now, but I can see crystal clear what's going on. That young lady had 4 kids. The house caught on fire. She was down the street, 2.5 miles away at a store shopping. The 8-month-old and the 4-year-old passed away. Now I think it was the 2-year-old and the 6-year-old, they are injured for life, I think they said. So how about that? She has to live with that. And I just wouldn't wish that on anyone. And I wish her situation was different, but it's not. So anyway, I wanted to share that with y'all, and I just wanted to give, was that a rant? I don't really know. Yeah, that's very ridiculous and reckless. Prioritize family planning, yikes. Listen, the other day, I appreciate you, Sherelle, because you definitely bring something to the panels. What you say makes so much sense. I don't know if you should waste that on everybody, because, sometimes the people that you're speaking to, they have no clue, really don't want a clue. They're just talking. And they're not interested in hearing or actually doing any part of what you're saying. But what you say makes perfectly good sense. We definitely need to be better. We need to be more intentional about our lives so we won't end up in situations that are not beneficial for us or our children if we actually have kids. So, good information. So anyway, today's topic is modern women. Should they have to earn their husband's wealth? I just added a whole bunch of stuff to it, but y'all understand what I'm talking about. Should they have to earn it? Now, the reason why we're saying this, I'm not going to give it away, but it's a couple of videos that I want you to see, and then we're going to talk about it when we're done. Here they go, y'all. It's not ready? All right. Neither one? Okay, so listen, Mr. Boss has just told me that the videos, for whatever reason, are not playing correctly at the moment, but he's going to get them and bring them up in just a second. But I'm going to give y'all a heads up to this. I'm going to let y'all think about it while he prepares the videos. Okay, one video y'all have already seen, and we're just using that video to kind of set the scene. And I had a comment or two about this also, but what it's pertaining to is that young lady that they were at the getting married, and the pastor said, he was reading the vows, and he said, for richer or poor, are you here to obey or whatever? I forgot exactly the sequence that he had, but anyway, he asked her, "Do you obey your husband?" And she's like, yeah, "We didn't talk about that, did we? No, I don't want to say that." And she actually did not say it. Now I make reference to it because the other day, there was a comment about protection. There was a comment about women, another video that came out, and it was about modern women being protected, because in today's time, that's a big deal, because we have women that, I see this, y'all, I watch Police Activity. I don't know if y'all know anything about that, but Police Activity is a site where the police officers, they're actually working and they're on duty and they're doing certain things, and it's always somebody with a knife, weapon, something happens. So I watch Police Activity all the time, and they always go into Walmart, y'all. And when they always go to Walmart, it's always a woman, always a black woman that is beating up the officer, biting the police officer. I mean, just so much goes into her activity to not comply with these officers. And I see this, and then I know with the field that I work in myself, and I've seen them respond to my husband just crazy. The disrespect is crazy. And it'd be like real simple things like, hey, ma'am, don't go in that direction. Or ma'am, can I come, what can I see your ID? Just simple stuff. And the way that they respond to these officers or these men in uniform, I'm just giving it that because I really don't know, is ridiculous. They be like, da 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 da. And I told y'all one time before that I wanted Mr. Boss to hit a young lady in her chest one time. I said this one time, and I retracted my statement, but I did. That one time I was like, just knock her in the chest, make her remember who she is. But y'all know that didn't happen. He did not. But I say this because women today often don't respect men in any way, shape, or form.
In sickness.
And in health.
And in health.
To love.
To love.
Cherish.
Cherish.
And to obey.
We didn't talk about that one in council.
We did talk about that in council. Yes, we did. So you want me to repeat that again? You want to just keep going?
I think we can keep going.
All right.
All right, so we're going to play that again because Mr. Boss got it to work. But y'all remember that video, and I want y'all to pay attention to it because she actually says that they did not talk about this in counseling, and obey was the major thing. Now, I'm going to let y'all see it, and then I'm going to say my little piece, and then we're going to go on to the next one.
In sickness.
In sickness.
And in health.
And in health.
To love.
To love.
Cherish.
Cherish.
And to obey.
We didn't talk about that one in council.
We did talk about that in council. Yes, we did. So you want me to repeat that again? You want to just keep going?
I think we can keep going.
All right.
All right, guys. So the moral of the story is she did not want to say obey, and that's a big thing. But when you look at obey, a lot of women came at me because I was thinking, and I said that modern women don't respect, they don't obey, they don't listen to anything that men say anymore. So they may have an issue with having that type of protection or receiving the protection that they want because men have to control a situation somewhat in order to protect that situation. And I gave an example of women in their provocative clothing. If your husband who covers you says, please, wife, do not go out this door with that short skirt on, then it would be your business not to go out the door with that short skirt on, because if you do and someone, it attracts the wrong attention and something happens, you lost your covering. And that was just, what I was trying to, let the ladies know. Obey just displays some amount of discipline and structure. We obey street lights. We typically obey police officers. We obey all types of rules all the time. But when it comes to that male-female relationship, it seems like it's a big issue. And as you saw in the video, the young lady would not or did not say obey, and she did not want to admit that it happened in counseling and that she knew. So I don't know if this was fake, if this was real, because they all kind of laughed it off and they went on. But it brings us to the video today. She did not want to say obey, but do modern women, do they need to earn their husband's wealth or money, or how should it work? This young lady didn't even want to obey him. Should she be able to, be a part and have his wealth? Like, say he was just totally made as he went into this relationship. He had a house, he had cars, he had all these things that he needed to have as an adult man, and they was his. He could have even been high value. Should she be able to partake in that, even though she isn't willing to say obey at the wedding? So here we go. And Mr. Boss is going to play that in just one moment. Go ahead, get done. All right, so anyway, he's getting the other video. I don't know what's wrong with our videos today. This is what, okay, here it goes.
30 days we've been married. You haven't changed nothing into my name. You haven't put the house in my name. You haven't put the insurance in my name. And then you got everybody else is on as a beneficiary.
I can't. You cannot be sick. What you just say?
You got both of them.
What you just say? Say that one more time. Say it again.
You heard what I said.
Don't call my mama again.
Yo, just say with her.
I want want everybody to
She
hear this.
got somebody there to take care of her.
This who I married. This who I married 30 days ago.
No.
This who I married 30 days ago.
What's really taking you so long? Like 30 whole days, Deshaun. 30 whole days, and you still haven't put me on nothing? Like nothing.
It takes time to do it.
Like it's like you're not even taking this marriage serious. It's like
you taking it too serious right now.
It's like you still attached to your
Hey,
mama
do you
like a little mama
look, check me out. My little mama boy.
A little mama's boy.
Do you love me or you love the money? Which one what are you here for? What are you here for?
Listen, like I said,
what you on TikTok or something? What you on?
I'm not interested in nothing that you talking about right now. Because I don't even think you care about me. Because what if you die? What if you die? What's gonna happen to me if you die? Who's gonna take care of me? Who's gonna take care of me? You told me when we got married
I know she
you
ain't
was gonna
saying.
do everything. You was gonna make sure I'm taken care of, and now I'm like second guessing everything.
You can't be serious right now.
Yes, I am, because you don't even love me. The Bible says when a man marries
How you gonna say that?
that he cleaves to his wife and leave his mother. Like what?
Ooh. Did y'all hear all that? Husband puts wife on blast for being upset about not being his beneficiary. Y'all see that, right? I hope y'all heard this from beginning, because what she began with was saying, it's been 30 days and we're married and you haven't added me to the house. You haven't made me your beneficiary. You haven't done anything. And it's been 30 days that we've been married. I really don't think you take this marriage serious. What do y'all think about that? Now, see, is this a deal breaker? You know, first thing I would say, this man seems to be established in whatever way. He probably should have gotten some sort of prenuptial agreement. But then that lends to the fact that he's not trying to keep these articles or these things away from her. He's just putting in some time to see if she indeed is who she says she is. What do y'all think about that? This chick is crazy. She should have went and put her name on some divorce papers right after this conversation. She's disrespectful and gotcha. So listen, 30 days it's been, y'all. So really, what happened here? So many things have gone wrong and they've only been married 30 days. If y'all listen to what he said, he was like, we just get back from vacation and I don't believe you in here tripping and saying these things to me right now. She was like, look, you got your mama on this, you got your brother on this, you doing this and doing that. What if you die right now? And then y'all notice the tears. Did y'all notice the tears, y'all? She got it together. She was like, you always told me that you was going to take care of me. What are you doing? I don't understand. There you go. So what do y'all think about this? Is this a deal breaker? This man has been married 30 days. What did he miss? Y'all, did he vet? Did he ask important questions? Did he make promises? Because he told her right then, it takes time. Does he even have any intentions on putting her on the house, on the car, on his bank account, on all these things? Y'all, we do not know how to do relationships, guys. 30 days. This is after 30 days. I'm just wondering, though, what was the conversation prior? Was she really cooperative? Was she quiet? Was she like, not saying much, just real submissive, doing everything she could to be a good wife and to make that, a good presentation? And now they're back from vacation, and now she's saying, okay, I hate to have to come to you with this, but it's been 30 whole days and you ain't done what you're supposed to do. I need you to fix it. Y'all, is this a deal breaker? Shaking my head, gaslighting, manipulation. Listen, this is crazy, y'all. He was supposed to explain every part of his intentions before he went and said, I do. He is now married to this woman, been married for 30 days. And if y'all know anything about being married, it's been 30 days. So he's right in that window, I think, that he could get it annulled. But if they've already consummated the marriage, which they have, there's nothing he can do. So let me change that. He could divorce this woman. But is that a deal breaker? I would say again, no, because he absolutely asked her for marriage. That's his wife. Y'all had to know that some of this was displayed before he actually married her. he had to have a discussion about all his possessions because she read them down. So she had to know exactly what type of riches he had. She also said, you got your mama on this, you got your daddy. What you doing? You trying to be a mama's boy? So guess what? The insults and the attacks have already happened, and it's only been 30 days. It's only been 30 days, y'all. I have no idea where this is going to go, but he has done so many things out of order, incorrect already. He got to fix it. But is this a deal breaker? I would say no. It is not. But he's going to have to, well, let me say it differently. It is not a deal breaker, but she may decide to leave. Because he may, after this argument, decide that, you know what? I don't think I want to add you to my home. I don't think I want to put my money in make you a beneficiary of my insurance and all that. Because she said, you didn't put no insurance on me. You ain't made me the beneficiary of your house. You haven't done this. You haven't done that. And he said, these things take time, but do they really? Should they? Y'all listen, ladies, I'm talking to you. Please don't marry someone that you do not trust, that you cannot put 100% into your marriage relationship. And what I mean by that, I mean that one pot, I mean your insurance, all those things. Know who he is before you say I do. Men, y'all have to know. You better know, because you see the situation that we have here now. This man didn't do any of that, and now he thinks he's going to come later on, or whenever, I guess when she proves herself, when she earns it, then he's going to add her to his home, to his insurance policy. He's going to make her the beneficiary. He's going to do those things at that point. What do y'all think about that? I don't like it. I don't like it. And I hate the way that she's acting right now, because it makes me feel like she wants just that. He said, what are you here for? Are you here for the money? Are you here for me? Y'all, this shouldn't even be a conversation. I feel as though I'm missing something, because for her to know all these things, there had to be some sort of conversation had between the two of them to let her know what exactly, his riches were, what actually he owns, his insurance policy benefit. She knew these things. Somebody said something. What's up, Clement? Hey, Sean, Vera Johnson, how are you? Somebody knew something, right? There had to be some discussion. I don't know what the discussion was about, what kind of promise he made or whatever, but y'all, it's been 30 days. Men, I'm asking you guys, is this a deal breaker? Would you divorce this woman from seeing what you just saw, her speaking to you the way that she did? Would you all want to leave and get a divorce? Just put a 1 in the chat for me if this is a deal breaker. Because y'all know, I would say no, it is not. Now, it could change the way that a man would be thinking, because it seems to me to be a huge red flag. But y'all know what I've been talking about all the time when I say, y'all, these red flags present themselves prior to marriage, but y'all just act like y'all don't see them. She presented this prior, and for whatever reason, he overlooked it. So now he's saying that, it's going to take some time. It seems to me that he's not real comfortable with actually adding her as a beneficiary, or putting her on an insurance policy, or all these things. He doesn't really want to become one with this woman right now. He feels like it takes time to do this. So I'm questioning that too. But it seems like to me the bottom line is we just don't know how to do relationship. And marriage is way out the door if we can't get the relationship right. Because all these things should have been discussed prior to them even getting married. Y'all have been married 30 days. 30 days. And she's not even willing to be an asset. She didn't say to him, well, I added you to my insurance policy. She said, well, who's going to take care of me if something happens? What if you die today? Y'all, if I was a man and I heard that, I'd be like, what? What you mean? What you mean? I would let Mr. Boss play it again. But y'all, this is crazy. Sean K says, yes, the only way you get added to a mortgage is by refinancing. Now she can be added to the loan if he notified the mortgage lending, giving permission to speak on it. Listen, I don't know if we would add her to anything. Y'all, Listen, she said, what if you would die today? What would happen to me? You know, she didn't say what could happen to you. What reason would he die today? I don't know if that's just a fresh thought, y'all. I don't know if I would be cool with my husband and say, well, what if you just die today? I know it can happen, y'all. Don't get me wrong. I know things happen like that. But have my man thinking like that, I mean, it's all out the blue when we having these conversations about insurance policies and beneficiaries and things of that nature. I mean, this is your wife for 30 days. Are you gonna be cooking for me? And if so, what you cooking? I mean, why are you talking to me like that? That would put me on high alert. But let's play the video again and y'all listen to all the things that this woman is saying.
30 days we've been married. You haven't changed nothing into my name. You haven't put the house in my name. You haven't put the insurance in my name. And then you got like everybody else is on as a beneficiary.
I can't.
No,
you cannot be sick. What you just say?
You got both of them.
What you just say? Say that one more time. Say it again.
You heard what I said.
Talk about my mama again.
Yo, just say with her.
I want everybody to hear this.
She got somebody there to take care of her.
This who I married. This who I married 30 days ago. This who I married 30 days ago.
What's really taking you so long? Like 30 whole days, Deshaun. 30 whole days, and you still haven't put me on nothing? Like nothing.
It takes time to do
like
it.
it's like you're not even taking this marriage serious. It's like
you taking it too serious right now.
It's like you still attached to your
hey,
mama like a little mama.
Look, check me out. My little mama boy.
Little mama's boy.
Do you love me or you love the money? Which one what are you here for? What are you here for?
Listen, like I said,
what you on TikTok or something? What you on?
I'm not interested in nothing that you talking about right now. Because I don't even think you care about me. Because what if you die? What if you die? What's gonna happen to me if you die? Who's gonna take care of me? Who's gonna take care of me? You told me when we got married.
I know she
you was gonna do everything. You was gonna make sure I'm taken care of. And now I'm like second guessing everything.
You can't be serious right now.
Yes, I am. Because you don't even love me. The Bible says when a man
how you gonna say
that he cleaves to his wife and leave his mother. Like, what is wrong with you?
Who are you?
It's not who's are you. Who are you?
Nah. You tripping about some paperwork right now.
If you really cared about me, I would be taken care of. If you really
I'm gonna take care of you. What am I here for? We just got back off vacation.
No.
And you worried about some paperwork? No. Go sit down. Go sit down.
No. So now I'm at the dog. Now I'm an animal. You have to go sit down.
Oh my God, you a headache right now. You being such a headache right now.
Like I said.
Why did
I am not trying to hear nothing. Until.
Whew, y'all. She ain't trying to hear nothing. Ooh, y'all. Y'all, I'm not going to do it today either. I think he just made a mistake. I think he slept through the whole thing. So the whole relationship when they was vetting each other, finding out, you know, if we compatible, I think he was just sleeping. Y'all, maybe she put it on him real good. I don't know, but goodness gracious, this is 30 days in. He asked her a direct question, is it about the money or do you want to be here? And she just put her head down and she was like, I'm not listening to anything you saying. She didn't answer that question, guys. She was supposed to come back strong and be like, hey, look, no, it's about us. It's about our marriage. But again, I don't know why we would be having this conversation. If this man has assets and he's my husband, I don't know. I don't think I would be so concerned about them. I definitely think I would be concentrating on my marriage. But again, on the flip side, if he was so concerned about her not partaking in it or not being able to benefit from him, he should have maybe tried to get a prenuptial agreement prior to marriage also. But did y'all see how she flipped on him and tried to use the scriptures? She said, the Bible says a man leaves his mama house and cleave to his wife. Did y'all hear that? Do you think God said anything about adding her to the, the insurance policy, being a beneficiary? She's somehow, y'all, we are something else. I just don't know if I could trust this. It can definitely be fixed. There needs to be, they need to sit down and they need to have a conversation. Listen, men do what they want to do. But I would say, hey, let's get that post-nump. Let's just see how strong or how much she does love me. And in time after that post-nuptial agreement, I'll write it out. Look, If my wife and I stay married for 5, 10 years, whatever the situation is, we will add her to the house. Everything comes to her, whatever the situation is. I can't say that because y'all, oh Lord. But anyway, we'll have some type of agreement that we do after the marriage. And then we have to go on that because she has showed him a different side. And right now, he's really questioning if she really even loves him or not. I know he is. I know he is because she really showed out, y'all. And I don't know if this is how she gets her way or what have you, but she did it. Now, this is a real issue. This is one of those things, remember, I told you all, me and Mr. Boss didn't experience this, right? So I'm going to bring it to you all as we find it, and we're going to bring it up and say to you all, is this a deal breaker? Is this something that we can work through? To me, this is not a deal breaker, but he definitely needs to get control of the situation right now, and let her know in order to go on in this marriage and for us to be good, this needs to happen. Because y'all, she is not going to stop. First thing she already said, she's coming against his mom. I do agree that there's nothing that supersedes the marriage. So there should be her and him, or him and her. They should be like two people against the world. I agree. I agree with that. But the only way to do that is for her to fall back, be cooperative, be submissive, and let him know, that she's his wife and she's there for him. Her being combative, telling him your mama don't like me, you got your brothers on this, coming against the family, y'all, that ain't gonna work. That ain't gonna work because she was supposed to understand that she gained a family. She gained a mother and some brothers. It's not supposed to be opposing. I know sometimes we have problems with in-laws and things of that nature, but that ain't supposed to happen in the first 30 days, y'all. You ain't supposed to let nobody know about that type of stuff in the first 30 days. Wow. Dr. Nakumbi, hello, sir. How are you doing? Thank you so much for your $5 super chat. He says, as I heard you say, SBU, we should be asking those critical questions while dating. Best to have behaviors of all season. Absolutely. He was supposed. Listen, though, let's be honest. There was some conversation. Because she knows too much for it not to have been conversation. I don't know if he made promises just to get this woman and then decided to maybe flip on her a little bit. But I am surprised that she's actually making this a conversation point. You know what I mean? It's an argument. They've only been married 30 days and this is an argument, And where is it stemming from? You just come out the blue. He said you just came from vacation. And then now you up here saying to me, why haven't I added you to this and why haven't I done that? So there were some promises made. But again, like I said, I think he just need to hey, put his foot down and be like, no, we're not getting ready to do it this way. This is the way we're going to do it because now she's added, in my opinion, a whole different type of part. There's a different side of her now that I don't think he saw. I don't think he's seen it until today. Until whenever the video was done, because he's asking questions now. He's asking those important questions, Doc. Is it about me or is it about the money? Where was this question at prior? What is she bringing to you? Is she going to be that submissive, cooperative wife that will obey and give you that discipline, that structure that it was required to be married? Or is she going to call you out and tell you a mama's boy like she just did? She just dressed him down. I hope y'all heard that. She dressed him down, y'all. She talked terrible to him. Now, she did not curse that I could hear. But y'all already know that's only about 2 weeks away. She going to start using them real words in a minute. If he doesn't comply, it's going to be real words. Possibly strip, flip, maybe. I don't know if these things are real or fake, but this one is not a deal breaker, but he definitely has to get in control of the situation. Y'all already know by now, there probably won't be any deal breakers for me unless it's really something that's just way out there. I think this situation too can be resolved for one reason is he actually walked into it eyes wide open. So it's up to him to fix the situation, and whatever he needs to do that, they need to do it. Now, she's already done called on the name of Jesus. Y'all, she done brought the scriptures into the nuptials, and she's already done laid her case. So I think he needs to keep her right there and call out them same scriptures to get her in order. Let her know she needs to fall back and be that helpmate that she was designed to be and just see how it goes. And then he needs to make the decision going from here on. But, this is going to be a tough one. This is gonna be a tough one, but I would love to hear what you all think. Mr. Boss, I think it's gonna drop the link, and I want to hear what you guys think because this is the time that we're in. Remember, the other young lady, she couldn't even say obey, and it just makes me wonder. This woman right here, obviously, she got through the vows. She had, she's married now, but 30 days later, she's showing a different side of her that I know that he did not see prior to being married. I know she wasn't calling out his mama boy and saying all these things prior. I know she was not. So now she's seeing a different side. Now, y'all have already said to me that people just flip. They just change SB. And I said, no, they don't. And I don't believe that they do. But what if she's a scammer, y'all? What if she's scamming a bit? Then maybe she did play the game for a time. But guess what? That's not true. She's not doing that. She's not scamming, because if that was the case, she would have laid back for a little bit longer until she actually got her name added to something. Then she'd have started acting fool. But since she didn't do that, I can imagine that she's sincere about the things that she's saying. And her husband, at this point, 30 days in, needs to put her back to where she needs to be so they can be whole and become one and be on one accord. Because right now, y'all, this is not going to work. It's not. But that's not that's not me saying this per se. He is not going to go for this. He's not. No man would. But I would say it can be fixed, but it's up to him or them to do so. And the first thing that needs to happen is he got to call it out. Second thing is she need to fall back and play that role as a helpmate, and then maybe we can do something. But anyway, I want to hear what y'all got to say, because like I said, I'm not going to be here with you all long. But this is one of the things, y'all. This is the modern times. Nobody is willing to build anymore. I told the story last night, and I say it all the time. Me and Mr. Boss, we build together. So the fact that if she's added or that I'm added or that we bought something together, that never was a question, because we build together. This man right here obviously has insurance policies. Y'all, that's like, I can't believe she asked that question. He has insurance policy, he has a home, he has certain things that he's accomplished, and he's married now, and he's a grown man, and he brought a wife in, and that's where she's at. I mean, we do want men that are purpose-driven and that are somewhat established, but that conversation that should have been had prior to them actually getting married, to what happens to these things once we get married. She needed to know what is going to happen. And I hate the fact, and it's a real thing, but I hate the fact that he could possibly pass away and this situation not be resolved. But if you've only been married 30 days, can we honestly be serious about that? What have you earned in 30 days? Is that a real question, or am I being mean? I don't want to be mean, but is that a real question? Is that a good question, y'all? What have you earned in 30 days as a wife? I don't know, y'all, because I don't know the history. I don't know if they've been dating for 10 years. I don't know if they got kids. I know nothing but what was on this video. But these are all things we have to think about. But the most important thing is, men, ladies, y'all don't find yourself in this situation. Ask those vetting questions. Y'all got to ask. Y'all got to go way deep into the situation. But for now, we have a guest here. Hello, Dr. Steele.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing good.
As a man looking for a long-term relationship, especially a wife, the more I watch these shows on YouTube, the more I have to really think about, what I want to really look for. And it also lets me know that not even the most effective vetting techniques are foolproof, or 100% foolproof. You can vet a woman, down to the T. But as that man found out, his wife, and I can tell you right now, he wasn't her focus at all. She was focused on getting, being that beneficiary, where at this point, the man was already protecting and providing for her. So I wonder, what was the actual rush? And she said, well, suppose something happens to you. And she has to think about, well, what is he actually doing to make sure that he's not in a bad situation, to make sure that he doesn't put himself in danger. See, here's one thing I believe. The greatest way to keep your loved ones out of danger is to keep yourself out of danger. Okay? And I believe that man is doing anything, to keep himself out of danger. So it is less likely that something will happen to him. Okay? And she needs to really think about that. Last thing I do want to say is this. And I think I said this before. It seems that like love in the marriage scene, or actually in the dating scene, seems to be fading away, and fading away even further. Now it's like people are not dating with a pure purpose anymore for some reason. Just like this lady, she's, she married him, but she was in a rush to get to be a beneficiary instead of just focusing on him, and things of that nature. Now, another content creator made a very genius statement. It's that when you do what a protector tells you to do, in terms, you are protecting the protector by doing it. And I want to end with that.
Well, absolutely. Because think about it. If you are a wife and you marry a man that is established and he has things, obviously he does, insurance policies, a home, cars, or whatever it was he was protecting or had prior. If you show up a good wife and you be an asset to him, he would definitely sign those things or put you on whatever is necessary so you would be taken care of in his death. But I just don't know how a man would feel that a woman he's been married to 30 days is speaking to him about what if you die. These are real things. I know we think and we play around with it and we be like, surely, the Black Widow is just a story. But no, there are people out there that will delete you, or that, they'll take advantage of a situation if they think that there is some type of wealth there and they could get away with it. That's a real thing. And for me to hear my spouse or however the situation is speak about that, and it's been 30 days and I didn't speak about it, meaning that, I'm giving her the necessities. I'm taking care of her. He said, we just got back from vacation. He said that. We just got back from vacation and you saying these things? What is wrong with you? As though he was going to leave her out. But up until this point, he hadn't left her out. So why would she even worry about that? I just don't, it's kind of weird to me because obviously she didn't think he was the type of man that would leave her out after marriage. And she patiently waited to after being married before she flexed him by asking these questions like, when you gonna do it? So I don't know, the urgency and just the demeanor of why haven't you done this kind of bothers me a bit. I think that he should want to see something more from her now to say, hey, you love and like me. And you are exactly right. I don't know if it's love that we're not seeing, but it's definitely like. Men and women are not liking and enjoying each other's company anymore. I see it all the time. And I say this to say, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't like a person, don't like, don't trust, don't love, do not marry those people. Don't do it. If you can't trust a man to put your money in one pot with him, please don't do it. That is a huge thing. This man doesn't trust this woman. He don't. For whatever reason, he doesn't trust her because all those things should have been established prior to marriage. This is my thoughts. He married her. Now, some are going to sit back. Like you said, you was like, why rush? Why rush? Dr. Steele, there's no foolproof. There's no 100%. I actually agree with you with that. But I think that we can get so close to knowing who a person really is if we ask the right questions and we put in the right amount of time in vetting. We have to ask, what did your mom do? What does your dad do? Who do you live with? Who raised you? Is diabetes in your family? Is there schizophrenia in your family? All these questions, that some people never ask. We never ask, but we just have to get down to, what do you believe in life insurance policies? Do you even believe in that? Do you even believe in owning a home? Does anybody in your family own a home? You have to get the mindset of the person that you're getting ready to lock yourself in with for the rest of your life. Because if a woman has never seen someone home ownership, it may be kind of difficult to sell that to her that she could have that type of life. You understand what I'm saying? They might not get it. And I know people are saying, what, SB, everybody? No, there are some people who don't know about credit, home ownership, owning anything. And that could be quite difficult and fearful for them, for you to introduce all this to them and have an expectation of them to be able to handle all this newfound growth in life. They may not know what to do with it. They may squander it. It just may not work, because they would be, actually, they will be very stagnant. And you want to know if you're tying yourself to someone that is stagnant prior to marrying them. Because I just, I don't really understand this, because, just kind of giving off a, what do we call incentivized? She's in some ways wants to be incentivized. And I'm just like, wait a minute. You should have your own. I think it was Miss Vera said, who was taking care of her before they got married? Who was? Yeah, what did she have? What had she accomplished in life? I don't know how long they were dating prior, y'all. I don't. I wish I knew. But all these questions are things that have to be asked. So, Dr. Steele, you are definitely right to say 100%. But I think now that I've been in this spaces myself, I am telling everybody, ask everything. Y'all, if y'all got a different 100 questions per day, continue to ask until you are content with your decision. Because there's nothing that is too much. Because all these things will be overturned or will come out once you marry this person. Every bit of it.
Yeah, and for my experience in these four relationships I have, the vetting process is not a one done thing. It happens daily, on a daily basis. You have to watch moves. You have to be careful what moves you're making. You get to find out, more things about your partner. You get to ask more questions. And I think, now again, I haven't been married, okay? But I'm sure after marriage, I'm sure there's still things you're going to find out, like this man has found out something about her.
Absolutely. Now let's see what he does with it, though. I mean, we won't know, but what would we call this? What kind of if we had to put it into a column of information or things to know, what would we call this particular incident? I mean, yes, it wasn't really a disagreement, but what would we call this? Is this a lack of communication? Is it she's a scammer? Is like you said, does she not love or like this man? What would we call this situation? What does it sound like to you?
I think it's more of a miscommunication, between the two,
Okay.
or at least, okay, it could be, it could be miscommunication, or it could be a switch and bait, basically.
Wow. I hear what you're saying. Okay. All right, Dr. Steele. Okay, a bait and switch. Okay, so she pretended to be, okay, now what would be her intentions on doing that, you think? If that was the case?
Well, for what I'm seeing, when she's trying to rush this beneficiary thing, right? And saying that, well, suppose something happened to you, right? I get the impression that, she likes to think something's going to happen to him, or she wishes that something happens to him so that she can get all those big benefits.
Or she's gonna make something happen to him. I hate to say that, but anyway,
Right.
thank you so much, Dr. Steele. Thank you so much for being here and your support. But gosh, listen, Mr. Cook, Kelvin Cook says, non-benevolent spirits are upon us. They will lead you into high rage, anxiety attacks, triggering words and thoughts. That comes from backbiting, discussing personal business. Whoo, non-benevolent spirits. I like that. So listen, Does anybody else have any thoughts on this young lady? Can this be, well, is this a deal breaker, or would you all be willing to work this thing out? Would y'all be willing to work it out? Really, men. Today, 2023, if you 30 days, you and your wife, your, what do you call that? Your bride have been on a cruise around the world. I ain't gonna take y'all all around the world. Y'all been on a cruise to the Bahamas, over there with Jamaica, over there with Beckman at. Y'all on y'all way back. As soon as you get back, first week y'all at home, she starts talking to you and she's like, why you ain't added me to your insurance policy? Why I'm not on the house? What would y'all say? To the point that you all have an argument about it. What would you all do? I would like to know, y'all. This is crazy to me. This is crazy. I mean, she's not even trying to cooperate with the man. She like, look, this could be a deal breaker today, and I'm going to cry, and I'm going to let you know exactly how I feel. Now, this could all be genuine. She could be the crybaby. She could know exactly how to get her way, manipulation with him. I don't know. But I can tell you, talking about a man's mama and, you know, call him a mama's boy, belittling him and things of that nature, it's not good. So that she definitely lost on. So who knows where this is going to go. But I wish I wish I knew some updates. I wish someone would come and tell me something about this couple. I don't even know if it's real. But guess what, guys? Me and Mr. Boss going to be finding real interesting topics to bring with you to you all this week. And we're going to see if they really are deal breakers or not. Because for me, I am not leaving my marriage. We're going to work it out. And all the things that we didn't do prior, we're going to have to do post. But it's got to be worked out because I am the person that I was coming in. And I think this woman was too. And if you accepted me then, you're going to have to live with me now. Y'all, I hate to say that. But all it's doing it's just, you know, molding us together. It's bringing us closer to God. We on our knees and we praying for a relationship. We praying for it, y'all. We praying for God to help us. I know that they are. If they're not doing it today, they will do it. But you too can get through this. I don't suggest to anybody that is to walk away from a relationship, even though in the first 30 days it looks like this. Pending her background, safety and security. What did she see when she grew up? Absolutely. How did she grow up? It's very important, y'all. It's very important to see. Did she see good credit? Did she see home ownership? You know, or was she someone that was incentivized? You want to know that because you want to know how she's going to handle you. You're going to want to know how she's going to handle her home. Is she going to be a manager of the home? You know, could you leave her in charge of that situation? Because we as women have to have some responsibility. The man can't do it all. This man right here is somewhat established, sounds like to me. So how is she going to contribute to the relationship? She needs to figure that out, you know, and everything can't be given. Should modern women earn the man's riches? What do y'all think about that? I would say yes. We have to either do it prior, which we should. He should have seen prior that this woman was worthy and could, you know, definitely be an asset to him as his wife. And she would be someone that he could trust to be, you know, to manage his home and have an insurance policy, all those things, because she herself was bringing just as much to the table. Brown eyes, hello, how are you? Me and Mr. Boss had a conversation about you just the other day, and I'm going to tell you what it is. I won't tell you right now, but I need you to message me because I want to ask you a question. But it's good to see you. Give me a regular smuggler, no wolf in sheep's clothing. Kevin, cook you something else. Give me, that would work for me too. But anyway, guys, listen. I didn't have much to offer you guys tonight. I talked so much coming into the live. You all saw and understand what is going on with me. I'm desperately trying to share with women that there is a way that this can be done. We have to elevate ourselves. We have to become assets for our husbands. And we need principles, morals, and standards. That's the only way, in my opinion, that we can be good women and wives. Now, if you don't want to be a wife, it still requires you having principles, morals, and standards because you need them for yourself. So just in case y'all didn't know, you need them for yourself. It is very much time out for this negative influence that you're getting on social media. And again, if you self-reflect and you understand what I'm saying and you kind of agree with what I'm saying, pull back, get off of social media. If every thought you have about a man is negative, I need you to pull back. I definitely do. We have a caller. Is that Doc? I think so.
Can you see me? Hear
I
me?
can.
Oh,
I
good.
can now. How are you doing today?
Fabulous in yourself.
Doing very, very good. Thank you so much for your support and all that you add to my comment section. This is outstanding. And also when you come up, I appreciate it so much.
Oh, you bet, you bet. I was busy, but I heard Dr. Steele. I was like, oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Made some very valid points, and I thought I wanted to add one more perspective.
Sure.
And before that, thanks for allowing me a hello to those in your chat, in the chat. And congratulations, I saw some of your clips from your presentation and workshop. Thank you so much for having those conversations. I mean, like real conversations. What are we talking about? What are those? We talk about the sex. We talk about who's this and that. Those surface conversations. I was so glad to. And that was just a snippet. I can only imagine to be there live to hear you talk about. Hey, times have changed. I thank you for acknowledging that because at least in the YouTube streets, a lot of people still talk about the old ways and what worked. And I liked how you adjusted. Same principle, marriage, the significance, the quality of the relationship, how you build it may have changed a little bit, but there's still things. Is there mental illness in the family? Is there prostitution, addiction? I was like, yes. Same, I was behind the scenes going, get him, bitch, yes. How was that conversation? I thought it was great. So thank you.
Yeah, that was very interesting to me. I haven't spoken. I was gonna wait for Black Man to get back. He done been all over the world and done so many things, but I'm waiting on Black Man to get back so we can have a detailed conversation about it. But I don't know if everyone understands that I was the only woman there. I was the only woman invited to the Black Manosphere Conclave 2023. I was the only one that was invited to speak. There were some hostesses there, and I didn't know it. I didn't know that till I got there, and I was like, okay, so he was like, you can have us at lunch. And I was like, oh, okay. So it was good. You know, it's interesting. I got a lot of pushback. Can you imagine? But I got a lot of pushback from women because they don't understand exactly, you know, how I flow. They say to me, because I say all the time, listen, I love women. You know, I love you guys. I want you all to win. This is why I don't mind telling you the truth. But they was like, well, how can you do that and be speaking to several men? I said, I'm only telling them the truth about women. I'm not speaking on them. I'm just telling them who we are. And I say, and they enjoy it. They enjoy the conversation. But it says so much about men because, you know, in this space, everybody wants to hate the manosphere. But I'm a woman who they embraced. And it was like, no, we love, it just goes to show that men love women. They want to understand women, but what can we do? Help us, because we trust you. So tell us what we can do to be okay. You know, so it was good. Yeah, they love women.
Right. I didn't cut you off. I was going to say, but then the beneficiary is actually the woman in the both. But it's not like you're sliding women. You're just having that conversation direct, to the point, honest, real conversations with these men who, if it clicks in and it works, then it should benefit those same women.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I know
Tonight, yep, I was going to say.
I was just going to say, I know you didn't see the whole video. Would you like to see it, or are you going to go ahead and make your comment based on what you already saw?
Yeah, I was going to make the comment based on what I was saying in the chat. So some people, if we were together 5 years, 5 months, or 5 days, or ran down to Vegas in 5 hours and got married. But once it became legal, if I grew up with certain beliefs about what security is, now that I'm your wife, hey, what's up with the, dang, we've been married like two hours, slow down. But to me, it's not the length of time as much as it is the amount of security. If something happens to you tomorrow, tonight, what's that mean for me? And minus, and I'm not talking about the manipulators and the scammers and flipping the script. I mean the legitimate people who think about what kind of guaranteed benefits come with being married. Some entitlement, right? Because now I'm your husband, I'm your wife, you owe, you should. Children, what's up? When do you promised one time we were going to housing, many different parts of what we talked about in a relationship versus now a marriage. That I have expectations to be done, hopes, and all these other things. So I think sometimes married couples have these conversations that seem unrealistic, or where did that come from? But now that we're there, I just need to, it's almost like a checklist. I just want to make sure I'm good, we're safe, I'm offered, I'm given, what I witnessed my grandparents or parents do, what friends have told me, family told me I should be doing. I just want to make sure, especially if you start adding money and different things that come in the relationship. If you get sick tomorrow, I can't say anything at the hospital. Your baby's mama can come up there and do whatever, and say whatever. I can't say anything. Make sure my name is on the list. And the hesitation, that can imply all kinds of stuff. It depends on the mental health. You don't care about me, you don't love me, you're up to something, you're playing games, the marriage is not real to you. So I think there is no deal breaker if the intent of the marriage really is about security. I mean, like security, safety, longevity, and we have worked out some of those issues. We've worked out some of the things that we would have considered deal breakers, but we have an understanding of how we'll deal with them. We've reached a stage in our relationship where some of that stuff is foolishness, and the stuff we did in our past, we're not worried about it in the future. And one more example, I think when people think about cheating, well, that could happen anytime. I said one time on one of the panels, there was about a guy, his wife had gotten in a car accident, and then she was permanently paralyzed. And the debate was, would he take care of her the rest of her life after he found out she cheated on him? In fact, she was on her way to see her boo when she got in the car accident. And my response was her cheating would be the last, there wouldn't be new news to him. He would have already known his wife so well. He knows that she has needs, she has this, she's that. When you get to know your partner so well, there's certain things that don't become, they're not surprises to you. The things that you work through. But also remember, some stimuli has not been hit yet. It won't be. My parent passing away 20 years into our relationship, you may have seen me weak before, but have you seen me this level of weakness? Certain issues as we age, we've never dealt with before. That stimuli is different. Doesn't mean it's a deal breaker, it's just there might be some things that we have to consider. Wow, how do we deal with this? All right, so I'll land there. It was a lot.
No, I totally agree with everything you just said. The only thing I do have, not even an issue, it just seems like there should have been more conversation prior to being married than after, to post-marriage. But you can also tell that they have had some conversations. She knew exactly what he possessed, his possessions. She knew about him. So you already know that there's been some conversations. It just seems different to me to have that, that type of conversation. But I see what you're saying as far as security goes, because I do know that women, in order for us to be the best versions of ourselves, we definitely need security and stability. But I question that a bit, because being with him does give her that security and stability. But if she indeed is thinking about what if you die, then that does add a whole nother aspect to it, because he could very well die. That does that's something that can happen. So I guess I do understand that. It's just different. It just goes to show we're not doing relationship vetting prior to marriage the way that we should. Because all this should have been outlined to the point where if he needed to put it in a prenup, then that's what he needed to do. Because now a postnup or how do you settle this situation is definitely not a deal breaker, because I don't believe in that. But how do you settle this conversation? Do you sell it by just adding her to everything? Because that's not going to work either, because the way she's approached it has put him on the defense. So now he's like questioning, why are we rushing? Why, are you really saying that? I just brought you back from vacation. So he's saying that money's not an issue. So why are you here? What is wrong with you? So what would you suggest that someone do if they found themselves in this situation? Because this is in my opinion, a real situation. I mean, I don't know if they're real, but it could come up just this way. So
one thought is, because you just mentioned earlier in the show, even her response. And I won't say it was gaslighting, but you know, the flip, how like he's the bad guy and all this other stuff. So that's what interests me. And what's the real motive? What's really going on? What's happening here? And then how do I protect myself, which also helps to protect us both. So the conversation is on pause because there are other pieces to this that I'm concerned about. So I'm not even concerned about the money right now, more of the approach, the timing, your responses. It makes me suspicious. And I just want to have that conversation about what's really underneath all this, which may lead to, well, you know, I want to make sure, or I'm not feeling comfortable with the answer, and then we need to just figure out what kind of secondary options can I take. So, you know, what do you call it, a post? No, something like that. I never heard of it, but if it's something that we do, because I'm not feeling safe in this conversation. I'm not feeling like it's really about our marriage. There seem to be some other undertones to it. I'm glad you brought it to my attention, and we can have the conversation down the road. But let's go get some help. So it's not my word versus yours or me against you. Let's go. Maybe there's someone who can help us figure this out.
Definitely, I agree with that. But again, though, I don't believe in deal breakers once we've already said I do. But I do know that there are certain circumstances that just we can't get to the end. Well, people say they can't get to the end of that. But I think we should definitely always try to figure it out. But who knows? So
cool. I look forward to when you guys have those deal breaker conversations and we get to chime in. If I may throw a suggestion in the hat, actually a couple, because this is what comes up with the couples that I see. What happens when one of them are no longer able to perform their duty or responsibility or commitment, their agreed commitment in the relationship? Not because they can't, like, here's the famous one I deal with. Guys who really suffer from imposter syndrome, they don't really know how to be a husband, right? I mean, they just didn't have the manual or a good model. But what they were really hoping to do was get the wife and family and secure them, not literally in the cage, but secure them. And I have my wife, and then all of a sudden they become lazy, unavailable, but the wife is secure. They don't do things like they used to do anymore. So that's one. Is that a deal breaker because the husband or the wife, usually it's the husband because they have that security feeling. Now that they've stopped, is that a deal breaker? Like they don't do fun things anymore. They don't come home anymore. The second one is more related to sex. So again, one of them has become lazy, but not because they don't want to. It's because they didn't tell you about the addiction that they had. So over time, a short amount of time, they went from investing in time and love and passion into you, and now that's died down. The timing of our passion and stuff together and intimacy, all that's gotten reduced. And now our sexual activity is about 10 minutes at best, but then they're in the computer room for 4 or 5 hours. They're down in the basement computer room, isolating. They used to eat dinner as a family. Now everything is just come home and down in the computer room where they don't really want you to be. I'll leave it to your imagination on what's going on and what the addiction is, but they haven't talked about it. Meanwhile, the partner is wondering if they did something wrong. Did I gain too much weight? Did I do something wrong? Is it me? Is it me? Is it me? Is that a deal breaker? I just throw that into the hat of suggestions and see where people go with it.
those are not deal breakers. I think that definitely could be worked out if both parties want it to be worked out. I definitely do. There comes a time when you have to mature and be very honest and sincere about who you are. I should say self-reflect on who you are and be accountable for what you do. And it's not going to be easy, but you have to make some decisions on what it is you want. See, me, I just think that is someone that has, again, you know that I am a Christian woman. I follow God. I follow the principles. So for me, that's someone that just has fallen away. And we need to go back and get that prayer life right. We need to go back and figure out what we're doing here. Now, you mentioned that he was not really a husband, but is he a good person? Is he, is he a good person? We have to ask those questions because good men don't stay down long. Now, we all can fall away. We all can get caught up in today's, things that go on, porn, or however we want to say it. We could get caught up in things around us if we allow our flesh to rule over us. So there's ways we got to get back checked and dial back in. And whatever it is that got us here to the point of being married in the beginning, we got to go back and figure out when did we fall off, how did it happen, and we got to re-engage. We can't keep our relationship on auto, because that's what's happened, and allow it just to fly itself. We actually have to go back and add some more to it if that's what we want. And if both parties are willing to work through it, it could be worked out. It could be worked out because it seems like most people that would be doing that, I don't know if a woman would consider that, affair or you are, infidelity. I don't know how a woman would view that. I don't know how most of them do view that, but it all depends on that woman and what she's willing to do. How much time or how many good years did that man put in prior to being obsessed by his own selfishness? All those things would have to be questions that have to be asked. But I actually think it could be something that they can get through. I think that happens often, especially with people who have been married a very long period of time. If they've just been on auto coasting and not putting anything into the marriage, some things would happen like that. You have to keep each other engaged daily. For me, I think it's a daily thing that you engage your spouse. I know some people you can't be, you got to do something. We're people, we're real. It ain't got to be every 24 hours, but it's something you got to do something. You got to let your spouse know that I'm there for you and I see you. I can't ignore him. I can't just walk by him like he's a piece of furniture. We can't do that. But that goes back to the liking and loving of your spouse. Oftentimes women and men both, they don't like their spouse anymore. They may love them and wish the best for them, but liking them, sometimes they got to figure out how to do that again for whatever reason. So I like those two things, though. I might have to, I don't know if I'm going to be able to find a TikTok video that will introduce such things, or if I did, it might not be.
I might have to make one. I might have to put on a wig and do some double rolls.
Oh, no, don't do that. I can't imagine, but I may have to wait till Black Man is back from Jamaica, and he can handle that other half, that other part for me. Those things I won't say. But listen, I thank you so much for being here and visiting the platform, and definitely you're welcome at any time.
All right, appreciate it. Keep doing what you do. We appreciate it. Take care. All right, bye-bye.
Thanks. So, guys, listen, I don't even know how long I've been here. Do I have any other callers, Mr. Boss? So, anyway, guys, listen, it is Tuesday night. It's not my norm, but we've had a good conversation. I appreciate all of you all for being here. But I think if we don't have any questions, we can sum this up. This tonight was still not a deal breaker, but we want to ask the question, modern women, should you earn your husband's riches? And like Dr. Nakumi said, it doesn't matter how much time. It could be a trip to Vegas 30 minutes later. I guess the license need to be, we need to send the license in first. Can we get the license sent in and get actually recorded before we start? I don't know. But all these things need to be done prior. We shouldn't be having this type of discussions or arguments 30 days after the nuptials. This is ridiculous. But again, if it's gonna happen, you're gonna see it sometime. Miss M, hello, how are you? Why would the groom laugh at that portion of their vows? Mistake number one. Now, SB mentioned a good point. Women will obey outside forces, but not the person who is to protect her. This makes no sense. Miss M, listen, it's been a struggle. We're going to continue to make conversations, and we're going to continue to bring different scenarios to this platform to see and to discuss to see if they are deal breakers. Now, the obey one, y'all, that was a deal breaker. He did not have to say, I do. Now, that one, I'm giving him a way out. When she refused to say obey and she pretended that we did not have this particular conversation in counseling, he should have ran. He should have ran, y'all. So that kind of makes me feel like it was a joke, or you're not real, fake, just something for clicks and views. I don't know. But he had a way out. The second gentleman, he had already been married. They had already went on vacation. He has already spilled all his guts, told her about everything. So now he needs to make a decision on how he's going to figure out why she has the type of attitude and demeanor that she has. And guess what? You're going to have to stop talking about that man's mama. That ain't good. Even if you're thinking it, you're going to have to wait till y'all got about 10 years underneath your belt. Come on. But either way, first one, deal breaker, leave her at the altar. Y'all, guess what? I bet if she would have been left right there at that altar, she'd have been, oh, we did discuss it, as he walked away. So he maybe should have flexed her right there. Did I say that? Oh my God. I am turning into this crazy lady, y'all. I am turning into the crazy lady. But guess what? He had an opportunity to run, y'all. He did. The second fella didn't have that opportunity. Wow. But anyway, listen, guys. I may be seeing y'all again tomorrow. Probably so, because I'm looking for deal breakers. Well, y'all already know. There are not too many deal breakers with me, but I'm looking for things and conversations that we can actually talk about, because like I said, me and Mr. Boss don't have, I can't bring y'all no fights. Oh, I did. Did I tell y'all this one time when we were first married? I think we had been married 2 or 3 years. I did pack up the whole house. I think I told y'all this before. I got mad. I don't even know why. I couldn't even tell y'all right now why I was angry. But I packed up the whole entire house. And I was leaving. But he caught me before I left. And he was like, what is wrong with you? And I was like, I don't know. And I'm just upset. And he was like, what are you upset about? I just couldn't even tell him. You ain't going nowhere. Oh, okay. So it lasted about an hour or two. But I literally had my dad and my brother-in-law come over and pack up the whole house, y'all. I really did. I really did. It was crazy. And I was like, well, we're not moving back in this house. We might as well just move up to another house. And that's exactly what we did. We moved into another house. I know that was crazy. I had my crazy moment. I was 25. Was I 25? No, I was probably about 25, 26 years old that time, 26, 27 years old, y'all. That's how it was. I did it. I was crazy. I had not settled in becoming a wife. I didn't know all the sacrifices and things that I had to do. Not that I had a problem with it. I had a problem with him, Mr. Boss. I did. And I couldn't tell y'all what it was. Y'all hear him over here? I couldn't tell y'all what it was at this point. But guess what, y'all? We did it. We went through it, and we've grown, and we actually didn't leave each other. Actually, I say in the last 28 years, y'all, I could tell y'all we have not spent anything more than a weekend apart for the last 28 years. It's crazy, right? But anyway, tonight has been an excellent night. I appreciate you all so much for joining me. And I'm going to see you guys probably again tomorrow, and we're going to have some more deal breakers. Or the question will be, is this a deal breaker? We're going to walk ourselves through it, because this last one, it's going to need some work, but there's something that can be done. But communication has to be a must. I would rather you all do it prior to getting married. But if this type of thing shows up afterwards, we still can't let it go. We can't just go to sleep and pretend it's never happened. We have to deal with it. So shout out to Mr. Boss, because I would have bounced and not looked back. What? Mr. Boss, why you ain't bounced?
Dearly beloved.
Mr. Boss, he just over here smiling. He won't tell Mr. Boss, why you ain't bounced? He just over here shaking his head like, nah. You know, he had a good, Mr. Gilbert, he has a good woman. He knew that he was the problem, whatever it was. I couldn't even tell y'all right now what it is. Gosh, I can't even remember. Do you remember, Mr. Boss? I know I packed up the whole house. I remember that. But I can't remember what. I don't even think we had an argument, y'all. I don't even remember what it was. I packed up the entire house not knowing why you are mad is a deal breaker. I just can't remember today why I was mad. Back then, I don't remember exactly what happened. Y'all, I really don't. Cause he loved him some SB. Exactly. Y'all, if I can, I'm gonna tell y'all what part that I remember. I remember him saying something about, I'll buy you the dress. I remember him saying something about the dress, something about a dress. And I remember me saying to him, this ain't about no dress. I remember that, but I can't remember how it kicked off, y'all. I really, this is honest. I can't remember. It's been, y'all, or more years ago. I can't remember exactly what the argument about, but I remember him saying to me, I will go buy you the dress. And I was like, hey, this is not about a dress. But that's kind of all I remember. I think that when we first got married, let me tell you this. I think what I felt most about Mr. Boss is that he was just too selfish. He was a selfish person. This is my thoughts. It's not that he was a selfish person. It was my thoughts that he was a selfish person because he was trying to create businesses and wealth for us. And I myself did not understand all the sacrifices that he was willing to make because I, at the time, was not willing to make all those sacrifices. It's some things that I was like, no, we can't, babe, look. It's some things that we have to do because of whatever reason. And he would be the type of guy. Now, see, he was functioning as I said this before, he was still functioning as a single man who needed to live off of this, and this. And if I said, hey, honey, I need this and this and this, then I needed him to make sure that happened. But he was that person that didn't need anything. You know, I don't need that. I'm like, but I remember him saying, I will go get the dress. I'll buy you the dress. So apparently I needed a dress for whatever situation. For whatever situation, I'm trying to think. And I don't think he told me no initially, but whatever the situation was, then when he came back, he was like, I'll go buy the dress. And I was like, do you think this is about a dress, sir? This is deeper than a dress. But whatever it was, it was that was one of the things I had to let my husband know, listen, we're becoming one. We can't just, it's a deal breaker. It's a deal breaker. It's a deal breaker. We're going to make a song out of it. But guess what? It didn't break no deal. So guess what? He must have been wrong. I can't remember right now, y'all. He ain't going to tell me either. He ain't telling me. He over there smiling. He over here smiling, shaking his head. He probably remember exactly, but I don't. I remember the dress. I remember packing up the whole house. And I remember him catching me before I left and was like, where you going? Where you think you going? I'm like, I'm out. I didn't talk like that. I wasn't that type of person. I don't remember what I said, but I was like, well, it's not like we're gonna bring the stuff back in the house. We might as well just move on to the next house. And that's exactly what we did. We moved on to the next house. We found another house, or we bought another house. I can't remember exactly what it was. And we moved on to another house. But it was something about his mind. And most men probably do this, young men. He had problems incorporating his wife into his plan. You know, he was on his purpose and he knew what it was going to be, but he had problems. I had to let him know, look, you decided to marry a woman, and that was me. So since you married one, you got a wife now, buddy. So things got to be done just a little bit different. It was all right when you're by yourself. But once you incorporate a wife, you have to incorporate your wife. And I think that's what it was all about. It just took him a minute to realize, she's right. I do have to incorporate my wife. And once he did that, and I think that particular packing up the house might have like opened his eyes a little bit. So I think he was like, okay, I get it. Oh gosh, I get it. You know, I'll go buy the dress. And I was like, it's not about the dress. It's about the foundation that's underneath the dress. So anyway, we got it right, y'all. We made it work. I didn't pack up the house anymore. And I want to say it was like the second or third year that we were married. And he over here laughing. I didn't pack up the house anymore, and I've never left my husband, actually. So that's so unfortunate, right? Yeah, that's what people do. But anyway, guys, listen, it has been a pleasure. We're going to make a song break. It's a deal breaker. It's a deal breaker. You know, there is something. What is that? I can't think of it right now. Yeah, Kosha got this little sound that he makes, too. But, yeah, it's a deal breaker. I like that, Miss M. But again, guys, it has been a pleasure as always. Mr. Bosch, y'all know gonna cut this up in the crazy ways. Y'all know he will. So look out for that. Y'all share the stream. If y'all believe and hear what I say and understand what I'm saying, y'all understand SB, please share the stream. Our subscriber count is growing. We are getting out there. People are hearing SB. Not everybody's agreeing, but they're hearing, and that's what's most important. But until then, y'all have a good night, and I think we will see you guys tomorrow. But y'all have a good night for now. Thank you. The feminists are mad. Brown eyes. Mess.